Aloha, welcome. I'm Nadia Caddell. I'm a personal chef, wife, and mama living on the beautiful island of Kaua'i, and I'm so excited to share some of our favorite recipes. They're inspired by island living and everyday home cooking. Let's make something delicious. Today we're making melted bruschetta. This is one of my clients' favorite recipes. I'm so excited to give you some of the tips and tricks how to make this and be able to share with your friends and your ohana. Enjoy! Okay, so to get us started, I always love to have this little bowl on the side of wherever I'm working. This will help keep your workstation clean, and it just makes everything a whole lot easier not having to go back and forth to the trash can. We're gonna shell garlic, and spoiler alert, it's a lot of mincing that we've got going on. So if you can, very safely, go ahead and shell your garlic by pounding down on your knife and then setting that. Oh, we lost one, folks. You can always set that off to the side and shell, and again, get rid of all of your trash there. I personally don't love to mince garlic. Gasp. It's true though. I don't love that for me. So I like to use this garlic press. One of the reasons I like this one is because you don't have to work hard to clean it, to be honest, and it's just super easy to spoon out into a jar. So I'll link it down below for you if you'd like to use something like that. I promise you it makes this recipe that much easier and more enjoyable. So another thing that you want to think about too is when you are preparing the greens for this, it's almost like a pesto in a way. You want to make sure to be able to slice and dice your items really, really small, because it'll really help the presentation and the texture of every single one of these bites. So I do it this way. You can do it however you like. The main thing is that your green onion slices are not too thick. You want a thinner slice with this. Sometimes I'll go through and thin that out as well. Next, you're going to measure that off and make sure you have enough. And then you're going to add that into your mason jar or jar where you're making this pesto-like consistency. Another tip is clean up after yourself after everything that you chop. I promise you it'll make this process so much easier. Again, toss off your trash. And then I like to layer my basil sort of in like a pancake stack. I'll show you here. And then making sure that every end is uniform and then slicing those ends off. And then we're gonna roll these sort of like you would roll enchiladas. If you haven't had our enchilada recipe yet, go ahead and check that out. I'll show you how to roll enchiladas. But you roll this and then you're gonna slice and dice these as well. Small pieces really help the consistency, so I'm gonna go through and do that. Next, I'm gonna make sure that I have enough and toss that into our bowl or our jar that we have with the garlic and the green onions. Once you've done that, you're going to incorporate the dry basil, and after that you're going to add in your garlic salt. One of the little things I like to do with this recipe is make sure that when I am measuring out my liquids, I'm using this liquid measure or any other cup measurer that is made for liquids. Fun fact, these particular glass ones, they're made specifically for liquids, whereas other cup measures are made for dry ingredients. So, fun little hack is make sure you measure your liquids as they should be measured. If you don't have golden balsamic vinegar, don't worry about it. You can use white balsamic vinegar. I've even used regular dark balsamic vinegar in this before. The main point is just don't forget to add some sort of balsamic vinegar if you can. All right, tomatoes. They love to see a sharp knife coming. So if you can, sharpen your knife and make the smallest bite-sized tomato slices that you can make. Again, every bite counts with this recipe, so you don't want some tomatoes to be bigger and some smaller. It kind of just throws off the whole thing. You'll see at the end when we put this together why I say that. Okay, so to a warmed pot on a low heat, I prefer cast iron, but you do you, boo. You're gonna add your olive oil, your minced garlic. Again, love to have a garlic press for this. If you can avoid store-bought pre-minced garlic, please do. I promise you this tastes so much better fresh. And you're gonna all add that into your pot. And then you wanna make sure to keep this puppy on low. Garlic is so quick to burn if you have it any higher. And then you're gonna add in your Italian seasonings. You're also going to add in butter. Forgot to film that for you. My apologies. But you're going to add in butter and some garlic salt, and then just kind of keep that on low and fully mix that in, incorporate it. Keep a close eye. Don't let the garlic burn, please. I promise you it'll really change this up because we are going to dip bread into this. So you're going to make your baguette slices. I'm going to zoom in here for you. You're going to make them just about this size. It's about a 1/4 inch, maybe slightly more than that if you want to be precise. This thickness really makes a difference because we are going to soak these puppies in this beautiful garlic olive oil confit, and we're going to put this into a hot pan. The pan itself, I love a cast iron, especially if it's enamel surface like this one is, because this really helps the garlic not to melt or to burn as much. Again, very low, almost like a medium heat, but I don't ever really walk away from this because this goes quick. You want it to brown and have like a golden crust, and these can so easily burn, so you just want to be ready to go with a baking sheet and a parchment paper sheet right next to it, so you can just let those cool off to the side while you're doing this. Again, tossing your fresh bread pieces, giving them a nice little bath, and then you're going to add them into your hot pan. Set those off to the side, and next we're going to prepare our cheese. I love to buy a pre-sliced mozzarella cheese situation. Just makes my life easier, and I cut them into sort of half moons. The biggest tip that I can give you with this is try to make your cheese slices match up with shape and size of your bread. So kind of take a look around and see which ones would fit best. I promise you it makes a huge difference when this cheese melts. We're going to put this in the oven for 350, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, as long as your cheese looks just like this. This really helps so that you can cool these a little bit. You don't want these too hot. It'll kind of mess things up because you're going to have that fresh pesto-like mix and the fresh tomatoes, so you don't want these too hot. Once they've cooled and you're ready to plate, you're going to start by mixing in your green sauce, letting some of the olive oil, balsamic vinegar drain, because you don't want these bread pieces to soak up all of the oil right away. You just want a little bit, like you're seeing here. So you just kind of drain it to the side, and then you finish that off. Once you're happy with the way that looks, you're going to add your tomatoes. Again, we worked really hard to make sure these tomatoes were not too big, not too small, but just right. So make these little, almost like volcano-like structures over them. And when you're happy with that, we're going to go ahead and drizzle this with a balsamic vinegar reduction. If you make your own, I love that for you. That's awesome. Feel free to. But if not, you are more than welcome to just get a store-bought one. I like this glaze specifically because look at this. Love this texture. And I want to make sure that every single bite has that like consistency. And then same thing, we're going to hit this with beautifully shredded Parmesan cheese, making sure that every bit of these bites has a little bit of everything. I promise you it is 1000% worth it. I hope you love this recipe. I hope you're able to share it with friends and family and follow along as we continue to share some more. Aloha.